The project came about from conversations that I had with my father, and we have some very different political points of view, which are fine, but we kind of have the same basis. Well, this is what the Constitution says, and this is what I believe our country should be doing, and what it doesn't. And even though we disagree on most things politically, we still have that. And so that's essentially why I did the piece. And then I got to see in that Facebook post that was happening there too. And I thought, yes, this is my point, is that we don't have to be so divided. I'd like to think that most of us have our country's best interest in mind. And if we maybe bridge that gap, then we can have conversations and maybe fix something, because I think we're really broken right now. The vast majority of my art, I want to put my name on. And that one, it just didn't make any sense to put my name on it. Like, I didn't want people to, even though it has happened with some articles and all that, and I don't shy away from that, but I was never like, this is mine, I did this. I think we tend to think about art as things we can't touch and things that are supposed to be appreciated from a safe distance, and I didn't want those things attached to this. And like I've said, every year I go back and fix it, and maybe I'll go back next summer, maybe I won't, but as of right now I probably will. But that's how I feel about it. I like to think that it's not art, and I'm just kind of pointing a finger at it. And I think the doing it with all those rocks, I think it gives people an avenue to think, like, oh, someone was really deliberate about this. This is a lot of labor. Someone must have really thought about this. So in that sense, that you can't escape that. Like, oh my God, that's so big and that's so much work. Someone really had to intend to do this, and that's what I like about it. And not putting my name on it was important to me as well. When you drive through there, there's just no way to miss it. There's just not much else to look at. When you're driving there, you're gonna see it, and you're probably gonna start recognizing what it is. So that's always been really important to me. Somewhere around 4 feet tall and about 2 feet wide. So it's a lot. I want to say it's 500 yards long. It's pretty big. It's a lot of rocks. There's a lot of work. It's just so hot. I try to get out there early in the morning, every chance I get to work on it. But there was like 10 or 12 letters that needed to be redone out of, I want to say it's 292 letters long, if I remember correctly. The year before I did that, I went on this big road trip. I flew out west to go to visit a lot of the land art that was put out in the 1970s, and something I studied in graduate school, like Spiral Jetty up in Salt Lake, and the sun tunnels in the northeast corner of Nevada, and the lightning fields and all those things. So I did this like 6-day road trip where I drove thousands of miles and just this huge loop. And I came across that. And when you're driving through that area, there's not much there. It's just the open, and it's beautiful, but there's not much there. And I saw the miles of this, people leaving those messages, and I thought, oh, that's really interesting. It's like graffiti, but it doesn't hurt anything. It's just rocks. It's just people rearranging rocks. So I stopped and I wrote my son's name and I took a picture of it. This is the only thing I could think of at the time, but I thought about it all year. And I'm a teacher, so years are like academic years for me. And I thought all year, it's like, man, I'm gonna go write something better out there. And because it's Route 50, which is the first coast-to-coast road, I thought, oh, that's really interesting. It's the first United Coasts of America. And also Route 50 is just like a half a mile from my house here in DC. It goes right through DC. And I thought, oh, that's really interesting, like uniting the country like that, and Lincoln Highway and America's Loneliest Highway and all that. And then it just kind of dawned on me, I was like, oh, well, wouldn't it be interesting if you had something more poignant to read rather than somebody's initials, or like, a little heart with some initials in it or whatever it is. And then I just came up with it, and I thought, oh, like maybe there's a good document that could really kind of highlight uniting the country. And I just went straight to the preamble, and I thought, okay, that's a lot of words, but I think I could do it. I had no idea how long it would take, and it took 5 days of a lot of labor and a lot of heat, but 5 days of moving rocks out there in the desert. And that was it. I planned it all year and then executed it. There were points where I thought I might give up. Like the middle of the day where it's blazing heat and my hands are cut up from all these rocks and everything. I thought, this is too much. And then I thought, no, like I spent all this time and money getting out here. I just need to take a break and come back to it. So. Also as an artist, for me, all of my work is very solitary. I work on some really big things out in the desert, mostly in the salt flats, and I'll spend 4 or 5 days making these big drawings in the salt. And it's really about getting into a moment where the only thing that matters is what I'm working on. So I'm not someone who likes to sit down, and I don't like to, sit on a beach and read a book. I never like to stop moving. And that's as close as I can imagine to meditating, or like doing yoga or something, where nothing else matters and it's just me and this labor out there alone. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to like listen to music or anything. It's just me and the idea and the labor. And that's where the vast majority of my artwork derives from. So everyone always says like, oh, you should get an intern or get someone to help you. And I think like, sure, it would be nice to not have to work that hard, but really for me, that's the payoff, is these moments where I'm in the middle of this big process where nothing else matters. Like I said, I had a couple people stop when I was doing it, but really just a couple over 5 days. People would honk their horns sometimes, and I don't know if they were just honking at me or because they liked what I was doing, but that was about it. For me, it's the idealized notion of how this country came to be, and all the things that the founders believed in, and all the things that we can still believe in. And it's a really beautiful statement. And no matter who reads it, any American who reads it, I believe, can get behind it, no matter what their politics are, no matter how far right or left they are. It's something we can all believe in. And I would love to kind of get back to that place. But that's what it is to me.